me wanna holler, go away. I need more peace and hope and love. Where do I find it in this crazy old world? I need strategies, strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio. Every time I listen, Lauren and David share strategies for living, and it makes me aware. I got strategies for living, strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio.
Oh, you know we need them? Yeah, we need those strategies, don't we? Those strategies for living?
I could be wrong.
Yeah, well, you could be.
But
yeah.
I think this might just be what we need today.
I think it might, yeah. Hey, folks, welcome. Are you ready? Ready for your daily dose of radio rehab? I hope so. Welcome into Strategies for Living. I'm Dr. David McMillian, and she is psychotherapist, PLPC, Lauren Leon McMillian. You know, sometimes, Lauren, you just need to kind of let the heat off.
Boy, have you been a witness to all the tension in the world lately?
Yeah, who of us has not, right?
Well, and who of us have not experienced it within our very personal lives as well? I mean, because as without, so within.
Yeah,
it all kind of has a way of trickling down to our personal life.
We experience it in our families. We experience it.
Well, that's a good point, especially.
We even experience it, I think, at church.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
and I was going to say, especially with the holidays fast approaching, it seems like things can have a tendency to get a little wound more than the rest of the year.
Yeah. And so there are some phrases that we will offer today. There's some phrases that will instantly lower tension if you are in a difficult conversation. Mm. And as you point out, we're headed into the holidays, more time with family, more time with other folks that we might not spend so much time with.
More togetherness.
There may be some difficult conversations ahead. Well, how can psychology help us? Well, we're going to talk about some phrases that will instantly lower tension in difficult conversations. And that's what we're going to tackle today here on Strategies for Living. How about that?
That's fair.
All right, folks, thank you. Thank you for tuning in to Strategies. And we appreciate our sponsors who make it all possible. The Robinson Film Center and Azalea Cleaners and Pintail Roofing and Learning RX. We train your brain. The Balanced Life Wellness Center. Fertitta's Delicatessen, home of the Godfather, alligator Italian sausage, and some pretty good muffies, too. SRT Trail Sales Training. Get it right, David. And Uprising Addiction Center. Back in a moment. What are some phrases that instantly lower tension in difficult conversations? That's today, right here on Strategies.
Do you want to build a productive sales team? Are you trying to grow or develop an existing one? Do you want to change your current culture, or do you lack the skills to get you and your team to the next level? If any of this is what you're looking for, you need to contact SRT Sales Training. Locally owned, more than 35 years in the sales and training world. Relevant real-life skills that work in today's environment, no matter the business. For details, look online, ScottTarkowski.com, or call 318-393-5219. And as always, make it a great day.
Dealing with stress, pain, feel like you're running out of options? When your life is balanced, wellness is a given. True wellness is holistic. It's about the mind, the body, and the spirit, all in balance. Now, there's a place right here in Shreveport that's all about helping us achieve peak mental, emotional, and physical health. The Balanced Life, 117 Kings Highway, right next door to Strawn's. Come see and feel the difference getting your life in balance can be. Many of your friends and neighbors have already learned the difference less stress and pain mean in their lives. You can book a discovery session right now online, thebalancedlife.us. All you've got to lose is stress, pain, or maybe both. Come see and feel for yourself the real difference balanced wellness makes. The Balanced Life Wellness Center, 117 Kings Highway in Shreveport, next door to Strawn's, thebalancedlife.us. You're going to see the difference. When you go to Azalea Cleaners, you'll hear about it too. Azalea Cleaners has been fine dry cleaning since 1958, plus laundry, alterations and repairs, comforters, wedding gown cleaning and restoration. You'll hear about it from your friends because they'll see it too. They'll notice the Azalea difference. Azalea is convenient. 732 Azalea Drive, 9220 Ellerby Road, and 9227 Mansfield Road. Plus, the front door of your home or business with Azalea's delivery on demand. Just text SETUP to 249-8283, and Azalea will pick up your clothes and deliver them back clean and fresh to you. You can't get closer than that. That's the Azalea difference. You'll notice it right away. Others will too. The Azalea difference. Fine dry cleaning since 1958. Text SETUP to 249-8283 and get the Azalea difference. AzaleaCleaners.com.
Hi, this is Jay Merle for Pintail Roofing. Let's talk about quality. When you hire Pintail to build your roof, here's what you can expect. Quality and quality control are the most important concerns for us at Pintail, and you need to know that Pintail stands tall with swift and professional performance on any warranty call. This is our most important policy. And remember, we're your neighbors. We'll be here for you for the long haul. Our family's lived here for over 100 years, and we aren't going anywhere. On the commercial side of Pintail's business, our fluid-applied roofing solutions can save thousands of dollars over conventional commercial roofing options. Call Pintail at 226-ROOF for a free inspection of your home or commercial building. That's 226-7663. Pintail Roofing. What's the condition of your roof?
Tune in daily, find the light. Healthy mind and spirits bright. Strategies for living strong. Feel the vibe, it won't go wrong. Body moves and soul align. Catch the rhythm, feel the time. Radio rehab every day. Chase those clouds of gray away. Your daily dose of radio rehab. Lift you up when skies seem trapped. Mind and body, spirits free. Living life in harmony.
And welcome in to Strategies for Living. Lauren Leon McMillian, David McMillian. Let's begin to talk about some phrases that instantly lower tension when we're having a difficult conversation. Let me also credit the author of the article where I got this idea. I mean, we don't read articles or anything like that, but Lachlan Brown has a blog. I think it's called Hack Spirit.
Yeah, I think we've done some of his before.
I like his work. I think he's across the pond. I'm not 100% sure about that, but he does good stuff. And so I want to credit where credit is due, because he, when we get an idea, we want to give we want to give credit. But here's the deal: we've all been in conversations, and maybe early on, maybe even midway through a difficult conversation, you can feel it. You can feel the tension. You can feel the thickening of the air. What's the old saying?
You can cut it with a knife.
Cut it with a knife.
Tension's so thick, right?
Yeah. The voices get sharper, and the body language tightens and hardens, and nobody's listening to each other. They're just reacting.
Right.
Now.
Yeah. Once you've entered that fight, flight, or freeze positioning, nobody can have rational conversation because we don't have access to those parts of the brain.
There you go.
When we're reacting from that state of
right. But when we turn to psychology, what can help us? Well, one of the things that psychology reminds us of is the fact that calm is contagious.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think reactivity is also contagious.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when one person softens,
Mm-hmm.
the other often will follow.
Yeah, that's called it's a form of co-regulation,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And it's something that I think so many of us lacked as children, and I think we're learning because we didn't know, right?
Right.
And I hope with future generations we're learning more and more about the importance and what it means to teach and to be active co-regulators.
Yep. Absolutely.
With ourselves, with our partners, with our children.
First and foremost with ourselves.
Yeah.
First and foremost.
Yeah.
So what's the key? The key is not in finding or winning the perfect argument, right?
Yeah.
But I think the key is finding the right language, the right language that will at least invite
Mm-hmm.
defensiveness to lower,
Right.
and for maybe perhaps trust our safety to be reintroduced
Mm-hmm.
when, the conversation turns and all of a sudden, why do we get reactive? Well, because, really it boils down to we're not feeling safe inside. Something that's been said.
Something's tripped the amygdala alarm, and you've
That's
entered into the sympathetic nervous system response.
Yeah. So, this maybe sounds too good to be true, but there are phrases, and all of these phrases are grounded in psychology, that instantly lower tension during tough conversations. So, we'll also talk about, we'll talk about the phrases, but you've also got to keep in mind, we all have to keep in mind that when we use these, let's not use these in a trite way, right?
Yeah,
we got to use these
important.
authentically.
Right.
Right?
I was going to bring that in if you didn't. It's really important that we don't come from a place of superiority.
Right. One up or anything like
any
that.
place of ego. I mean, it's really important, the tone and how the phrases are delivered just as much as the phrases themselves.
Yeah. What do we all really want? In a conversation, hopefully, we want an exchange.
A conversion.
A conversation.
And conversion can only happen when the two parties are equal and on safe footing.
Right.
Yeah.
So one simple phrase that, and it's very simple, but it's very powerful. It's small but powerful, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a breath for a second. So, you're talking about the amygdala.
Mm-hmm.
When our emotions are high, the fight or flight response is there. It's there for a reason.
Yeah.
It's there to protect us,
Yeah,
right?
Right.
And so when that happens, heart rate increases, thinking narrows, words can become weapons rather than bridges. So
we literally lose access to the prefrontal cortex,
right,
which is where all of the logical, rational thinking and critical decision making comes from. I mean, when we enter that state of reactivity, we lose those abilities.
Right.
And so then that's where the importance of the breath, and especially the importance of acknowledging, hey, I would even say the phrase, we don't even have to say, let's take a breath. I think it could be even as powerful or more powerful if you say, I need to take a breath.
Yeah, there you go.
Because what that signals is you don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Though it still invites.
It's inviting, though.
As I take a breath, you're welcome to watch and to participate if you like, right? Because as soon as you take that breath, hopefully it's a deep, full-bellied breath, and maybe even a couple. Right?
So what are we doing? What are we actually doing with Let's Take a Breath? We're interrupting the physiological loop that we get into.
Correct.
With the fight, flight, right?
Yes.
And it's like a psychological reset button. There was some research done from Stanford University fairly recently. In fact, I think it was done during the pandemic, and it was, focusing on rates of anxiety and depression soaring.
Right.
And the study, they called it cyclic sighing, which is basically a controlled breathing exercise that emphasizes long exhalations.
Yeah.
And, it can take as little as just a handful of minutes, 5 minutes or so, to experience less anxiety and a better mood and decreased rates of breathing at rest, which is a sign of overall body calmness. And
that's
this
interesting.
was studied.
I've heard of engaging purposely the physiological sigh, but I have not heard of cyclic sighing as they've introduced. Of course, the physiological sigh is when you take a deep breath, and then right before you sigh, you usually take a little extra in before you sigh.
Yeah.
And so if you are able to take that deep breath and then have that little extra in before that slow and even actually to make the noise that you would make when you sigh is very powerful.
When you model, when one person in a tough conversation models calm breathing, the other person's body unconsciously mirrors.
Exactly.
It's a process that's called emotional contagion.
Mm-hmm.
And
Which
it's
is
a real thing.
Which is why I propose, sometimes even in the midst of harsh conversations, saying, let's take a deep breath can still feel, can still put somebody on the defensive because it might feel like you're commanding them. So if you just shift it to, let me take a breath, I'm going to take a breath. What you don't understand is by you taking the breath, like you said, you're actually still engaging the other person's physiology.
Absolutely. Another phrase, simple phrase that can be very powerful is, you might be right.
Mm.
Now that simple line, it's a very simple, you might be right.
Right.
It flips the emotional dynamic. Psychologist Marshall Rosenberg, who founded nonviolent communication, he taught that conceding even a little bit reduces resistance. So what are we doing here? Well, we're not giving up much of anything, but by admitting, well, you might be right, you are releasing the tug of war energy that keeps both people locked in opposition.
And it doesn't mean surrender, right?
No.
It means you're prioritizing.
You might be right. Doesn't say you are right. You might be.
And by making that statement, you are signaling that you prioritize peace over pride.
Yeah.
Right.
You're also signaling, Lauren, humility and openness.
Right.
And those qualities, humility and openness, actually lower cortisol. Cortisol is the stress hormone, and so it's going to be active in social conflict, right?
Right.
And so often the other person softens in response to, you might be right. Our ego always wants to be right? So when we practice this, we're also helping ourselves, if you will, in, kind of regulating our own, reminding ourselves that, okay, wait a minute, ego's not in charge of me, I'm in charge of my ego. Wouldn't the world be a wonderful place if more people were in charge of their ego instead of allowing the ego to be in charge,
or at the very least able to witness the ego in action, right? Because at the very least, that gives you the ability to have some say, some control.
Yeah. What matters more than victory? Peace. Yeah. So
and not peace in the way of surrender and I lay low and submissive, but peace in the way that we can both be right.
And we've heard each other.
Yeah.
We've exchanged. We've heard each other. And okay, let's move forward now. We're dipping into psychology, and coming up, and reminding all of us of some very simple phrases that can lower tension when we're in a difficult conversation or setting. It's what we're talking about today here on Strategies for Living. We've got more. We'll be right back. Stay with us. When you need help, you want help now, and you want a rehab and addiction center that can help support you and help you flourish. Uprising Addiction Center in Shreveport is that place. 877-887-7473. uprisingcenter.com. Whether you're looking for yourself or a loved one, you'll find Uprising Addiction Center for detox, for residential inpatient, and intensive outpatient. You'll also find a team of dedicated specialists who will help you remember who you really are. You're not your addiction. Your story is waiting to unfold. And Uprising is here to help make that happen. 877-887-7473. uprisingcenter.com. A relaxed and beautiful setting. A dedicated team that knows how to help you recover your life and potential. Uprising Addiction Center. uprisingcenter.com.
Are you trying to develop a productive sales team? Are you trying to grow or develop an existing one? Are you wanting to change your current culture, or are you lacking the skills to get you and your team to the next level? If any of this is what you're looking for, then you need to contact SRT Sales Training. Hi, everyone. My name is Scott Tarkowski, and I'm the owner of SRT Sales Training. Relevant, real-life skills that work in today's environment, no matter what the business. For more information, go to scotttarkowski.com or simply call 318-393-5219. And as always, make it a great day.
Hey, let's talk about the Robinson Film Center. You know, I say it a lot. There's no place like the Robinson.
Absolutely, there is not.
617 Texas Street, downtown Shreveport. You've got so much. You got the movies. You got Abby Singer's Bistro on the second floor of RFC, open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Saturday.
Newly remodeled.
Absolutely. Great menu. RobinsonFilmCenter.org is the way you check it all out. You can go to RobinsonFilmCenter.org at any time and find out what movies are showing. Here's the deal. You want to join the crowd, join the fun, become a member. When you become a member, you become a star. You get discounts on movies, you get concession upgrades, you get bistro deals. RFC, 617 Texas Street in downtown Shreveport. I'll say it again. There's no place like the Robinson.
There is not, and I'm glad we have one right here.
Absolutely. The RobinsonFilmCenter.org.
Reading begins not in the classroom, but in your child's brain. I'm Donisa Walker with Learning RX Shreveport. If your child struggles to read, maybe he or she has trouble focusing or comprehending, Learning RX Shreveport offers a science solution to reading problems, working one-on-one with your child, targeting his or her reading skills. Today, call Learning RX Shreveport. Make an appointment to have your child assessed. I know you want to help your child, so does Learning RX Shreveport.
From the bayou to your table, we're keeping it alive with flavors from the family, passed down to survive. The Godfather's here with a twist in the tail, alligator Italian sausage, and it sure won't fail. It's the boss of the bayou, a taste you can't refuse. Italian tradition, Cajun infused. Godfather sausage, bold and true. The Padres bringing the bayou to you.
Get the Godfather, alligator Italian sausage only at Fertitta's Delicatessen, 1124 Fairfield Avenue in Shreveport. Pick up a muffy while you're there. The Godfather, alligator Italian sausage. It's a taste you can't refuse. Sold only at Fertitta's, 1124 Fairfield Avenue in Shreveport.
Facing the same old problems day to day makes you want a hard get away. Looking for the road that'll get me there. Looking for hope and peace to spare. Looking for strategies. Strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio.
And welcome back. Welcome back into Strategies for Living Radio. Lauren Leon McMillian, David McMillian, talking about some useful phrases from psychology that can change the tone. You know, we all get into difficult conversations at times.
Sure.
And when we do, we're looking for a way to
release the pressure.
Yeah.
Release the pressure valve for a moment or so. Yeah.
So here's another one. Help me understand what you mean. Okay, so what's going on here? Help me understand what you mean. Curiosity is replacing judgment. You know, what does conflict really thrive on? Assumption.
Right. And defensiveness.
And defensiveness.
And attack, right?
But questions restore connection. So the phrase, help me understand what you're meaning here. That phrase engages the prefrontal cortex, which is the reasoning part of our brain in both people. And it subtly then invites cooperation rather than escalation. You know?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And it also sends another message too, maybe a deeper message, Lauren. And that is, I care enough. I care enough to listen.
Right.
I want to hear, I want to hear.
It's a layer of understanding and wanting to connect.
I think this is a wonderful one for husbands and wives or anyone in relationship.
Absolutely. And it can be, and in that case, it can always also be prefaced by, your own feelings, right? Sort of the idea of like, when you said this, I felt judged or criticized or blamed or fill in the blank. So help me understand what you really meant. Is that how you intended to send that message?
Yeah.
Or.
Yeah. When we use that phrase, help me understand what you mean, it turns the moment from me versus you into us trying to understand this together. We're getting on the same page.
Right. Instead of,
or at least the invitation is there.
Right.
Yeah.
Instead of making each other the problem, this phrase directly points out we're together against whatever the problem is, which is in this case a misunderstanding.
And for couples, that can be so important to learn that little, that little nuance.
I think this one could be especially helpful as well if we've got teenagers.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, because that's their big shtick, right? Nobody understands. You don't understand what it is, and so to use the phrase, well, so help me understand because I want to understand.
And then be genuine.
Yes.
As a listener.
Be an active, genuine listener.
Which may mean that you have to turn your own mind off so that you're not busy trying to create a comeback.
Yes, right.
Instead, you shift into active listening mode.
And just because you're listening does not mean you accept what they're saying.
No, not at all. Not at all. Okay, another one is another simple phrase, 2 words. That's fair. So this is a disarming phrase. I mean, this phrase, that's fair.
Yeah.
It disarms nearly anyone. There's a negotiation expert. His name is Chris Voss. He's actually a former FBI hostage negotiator. And he says people crave fairness more than they do agreement. So when any of us say, that's fair, you meet that need instantly, and it tells the other person they're being heard, and I'm doing my very best to treat you respectfully. And so even if you later clarify your own view, the phrase ensures that they feel acknowledged. And once they feel acknowledged, that's going to buy some space for calmer discussion. Right?
This is interesting because this is one that I actually use frequently. And until we started discussing it today, I hadn't realized, this is just part of my lingo.
Right.
Very, very frequently do I use it. And I don't even always use that. I just say fair.
Yeah.
Because
fair.
Yeah. Because, and just because something's fair, that's a valid statement doesn't mean that I agree
Right.
or, that I'm going along for the ride, but it's me validating. Yeah.
Well, they have a lot of rides out at the fair, by the way. Fair's going on right now, so hey. Fair. Yeah.
Fair point.
All right. Another one is let's slow down for a second. What does tension feed on? Tension feeds on speed.
Urgency.
And urgency, yeah. So when a conversation gets heated, your body is flooded with adrenaline and your speech accelerates. So just one person saying, let's slow down for a second. That can help both people regulate their nervous systems. It's a mindfulness technique that's disguised as a pause button.
Yeah, it's funny because as you said that, I heard you in my mind. I've heard you several times say, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa." Right?
Yeah, it's one of my phrases. Whoa, 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 whoa,
whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
And really,
there's a particular young man you hear me say that a lot too.
Oh, yeah, because there's a lot of whoaing that we need to go. What's the guy?
When I
what's
say
the guy
whoa,
right,
I
the
mean
Looney Tunes
whoa.
guy. Yeah, that's who I heard. But really, that's what you're implying by saying whoa, 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 whoa. You're saying slow down. Let's slow down a moment. You're getting ahead of everything, and we need to back up, right, and look at this in a little different angle, right?
Again, we're looking at mirroring here. We're looking at subconscious mirroring. Co-regulation, if you will, is what psychology calls your calmness helping the other person's physiology settle down just a little bit. And if the physiology settles down, now there's room. There's room for continuing conversation.
And you don't even have to say, let's slow down for a second. You could actually just demonstrate that. That's something that I've picked up, within my years of counseling and studying human connection, right? Some of the people that I look up to the most speak very slowly and intentionally.
Yeah.
And so I've tried to be more intentional with that. Maybe not all the time, but especially in times when I might want to insert that phrase, let's slow down a second. But you could literally just slow your words. And it does and has the same effect.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because it's the same sort of invitation to make your mind stop racing and really pay attention to what I'm saying. Right?
Anyone who has done any bit of public speaking understands this concept. Because, when we get, when you do anything kind of quote unquote on stage, whether you're in front of 10 people or 100 people or 1,000 people, once you get there, I mean, it's like whether there's a spotlight or not, it feels like the spotlight is on you.
Right.
It's glaring. And so what do? We speed up. And so it's really, really important if we are doing any kind of public speaking to remind ourselves to slow down, to pace.
Yep.
And as you say, I don't think it's an accident that you can say, well, a lot of people I admire as I listen to them speak, or I listen to their cadence, I recognize that they are presenting very slowly and intentionally.
Right. And one that comes directly to mind is Eckhart Tolle.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And if you watch any of his videos, and of course, appropriately, one of his books and a lot of his work is focused on the power of now.
Yep.
And what a more powerful way to bring yourself to the now than to slow down, right? And to bring that intentionality, because it really puts a stop on what can become a very racing mind, right?
Yep. And that racing mind and ego together can take over and get out of control in a hurry.
That can be a train wreck, right?
Oh, Lord, yes. Okay, another simple phrase, 3 words. I hear you. it's so simple.
Yeah.
But it's so deeply effective.
Mm-hmm.
When you are in an emotionally charged exchange, most people don't need advice. What they need is acknowledgement.
Right.
So when you say, I hear you, it activates what psychologists call the need for recognition.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the human desire to be seen
Mm-hmm.
and to be validated.
Yep.
So again, you keep pointing out, and I agree with you, it doesn't mean that you agree
Right.
or that the issue is resolved.
No.
I hear you just simply says, I'm present to you.
And-
It's presence.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
and I'm taking in what you say, and I'm listening and I'm processing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you ever, and I know you probably have with clients, if you do any kind of mindfulness exercise
Mm-hmm.
and you watch people, you'll probably notice shoulders literally drop after hearing, those little words, I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
The energy shifts.
yeah.
And the energy shifts almost instantly. And again,
It, to me, it kind of begins to chip away perhaps at a collective childhood wound. Because, I think how many of us grew up generation after generation of hearing children are meant to be seen and not heard,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
And so even if that's a subconscious wound, I think a lot of us share that. And so to hear, I hear you, begins to put some love into that.
Absolutely. We're talking about some simple phrases right out of psychology that we can all use when we find ourselves in difficult conversation. And happens to a lot of us a lot of the time. So we're talking about that today here on Strategies for Living, and we've got more. Appreciate you staying with us. We'll be right back.
Tuning out, let's take a ride. Healthy mind and heart open wide. Every step with spirit as our guide. Here on Strategies for Living. Mind, body, spirit, and the groove. Relationships smooth as ocean waves. Let's connect and let's improve. Strategies for brighter days.
And welcome back. Welcome back into Strategies for Living. Lauren Leon McMillian, David McMillian, talking about some phrases out of psychology that you can use that will immediately change the way a conversation is going, particularly a tense conversation. All right, here's one. Let's find a way through this together. That's a simple little phrase, a simple little invitation, if you will.
Yeah.
But that phrase turns conflict to teamwork. So it shifts the focus from problem to partnership.
Right.
And psychologists say that triggers feelings of belonging and feelings of safety. And so that language, let's find a way through this together, actually, reinforces shared identity.
Right.
And shared identity will reduce antagonism, and it activates empathy circuits in the brain. Pretty good thing, if we're in a tense conversation.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, again, this harkens back to the idea of making the problem and not each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Absolutely. And again, problems are always, and this is hard, in the heat of the battle,
Yeah.
in the quote unquote, air quotes there,
Yeah.
in the heat of the battle, something inside of us generally shifts, right? I got to win. Yeah, that's our ego, that is telling us and punching us.
Right.
I got to win, which again, it's a battle.
Right.
But now if we can shift to being on the same side, suddenly we're not in a battle.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to remember that we all see things from varying different perspectives, right?
Yep.
It's the image of someone viewing a 6 from one side, and from the other side, the person says, no, it's definitely a 9, right?
It could be 6, 7.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
What kids have you been hanging out
I don't
with
know.
recently?
I've been watching too much TV lately. Yeah. Okay, so here's another one. I could be wrong. All right, there's few phrases that are as disarming as I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Social psychologists have found that when somebody admits the possibility, just the possibility of being wrong, it paradoxically increases their credibility. Don't we want credibility? Every single one of us? And so the other person, all of a sudden, when you say, I could be wrong, other person no longer sees you as defensive or combative.
Right.
They see you as being having some humility and authenticity.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's helping. Hopefully this phrase will help remind you that you're not in a battle against each other, right? That I just have, here's the information that I'm bringing to the table. Here's my perspective, right? And it doesn't mean that I'm firmly placed in this and it's this way or nothing at all.
Right.
And the reminder is to say, I could be wrong.
Yep.
Yeah?
And
that's recognizing that, we don't know everything. If we did, we wouldn't be here.
there you
right?
go. We're here to learn. We're here to learn. And so I could be wrong is actually a mindful act of ego release. Yeah. And that creates room. It creates room for truth to emerge rather than trying to control it. Ego wants to control.
Right.
But, it tells the other person that you value clarity more than you value domination. Right?
Right.
Here's another one. Let's come back to this later. This is a timeout, and sometimes that's the healthiest response.
Yes. Yeah.
Sometimes we all need timeouts. Neuroscience, your area, it absolutely shows that when we're flooded emotionally, our IQ drops.
Yep.
And neuroscience has tested it and says it can drop 20 points. Yeah. There you go.
Yep.
Now, literally, when we're in that kind of heated conflict, we get dumber.
Right. Well,
according to neuroscience.
Well, again, that's partially due to the shutting off of that prefrontal cortex.
Right.
It's the idea that when we're in fight or flight, all the blood rushes to our core, right, so that we can run, right? And the same thing happens within the brain,
So we're not talking about avoidance here. What we're talking about is emotional intelligence, EQ. Yep.
Yeah.
There are just some arguments that aren't going to be solved. So an invitation to let's come back to this later. We again, sometimes it's just it's nice to have a timeout.
Yeah. Or just to allow yourself to say, look, I feel myself getting emotionally charged, and I don't want to have. I know I can't have credible conversation when I become this emotional. So I've got to back up.
Yeah.
And I've got to go self-soothe. I've got to go do my thing.
Here's another one. I appreciate you bringing this up. Now, that's gratitude. I appreciate you. Yeah. Gratitude neutralizes tension. It might seem counterintuitive to think, to thank somebody in the middle of a conflict. But John Gottman, who is a marriage and family psychological expert and researcher, says that appreciation is one of the strongest predictors of long-term health in a relationship. So when you say, I appreciate you bringing this up, you're reframing confrontation as connection.
Right. Well, because it is. It's a great opportunity for a deeper connection if we allow it to move through us in a calm way.
It's
right?
it's an emotional equivalent of turning towards somebody else instead of away from somebody else. And again,
conflict, if it's done in a healthy way, is an invitation into a deeper relationship with someone.
Right. So,
because it says, I care enough about this relationship to, hear your side and to come to some, agreement or, some area that we can agree on.
Why do all of these phrases that we've talked about today, why do they all work? Well, in difficult conversations, both people are scanning for threat. So am I being judged? Am I being heard? Am I safe to express myself? I think you can see that there's a lot of these phrases. They're simple, but a lot of these phrases immediately say, I'm not judging, I'm hearing you,
right,
and
I'm
you're
present.
safe.
Yeah.
Talking about very simple phrases that we can use when we're in the midst of a difficult conversation. Today, here on Strategies for Living. Be right back. And welcome back. Welcome back into Strategies for Living. Lauren Leon McMillian, David McMillian, been talking about phrases, 10 of them as a matter of fact, that instantly lower tension in difficult conversations. And they are all, out of psychology. So let's take a breath for a second. You might be right. Help me understand what you mean. That's fair. Let's slow down for a second. I hear you. Let's find a way through this together. And I could be wrong. Also, let's come back to this later. And last but not least, I appreciate you bringing this up. What's your takeaway, Lauren, from this?
I think I know it's tried and true because there are so many that I use on a regular basis. And so I know they work and they're very effective.
You've tested them.
Yeah.
You've road tested them.
Yeah. Well, and it's the idea that we don't need a comeback, right? We just need to be able to lower the temperature and to remind ourselves that we're not here to win, right? We win when we both win, when we all win.
Absolutely.
Right?
We're here to grow.
So maybe pick a phrase or one or two to begin to intentionally add into your vocabulary.
We are here to learn. We're here to grow. And, we can do that through conversation.
Yeah. And how can we do them more calmly?
There you go. Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you.
Folks, thank you. We appreciate you being with us today on Strategies. And we appreciate our sponsors making it possible, the Robinson Film Center and Uprising Addiction Center and Azalea Cleaners and Pintail Roofing and Learning RX. We train your brain. The Balanced Life Wellness Center. Fertitta's Delicatessen, home of the Godfather. Alligator, Italian sausage, pretty good muffies too. And SRT Sales Training. Go see my friend Scott Tarkowski. If today were the last day of your life, you only had one more phone call that you could make, who would you call? What would you say? And why are you waiting? Make the call. For Lauren Leon McMillian, I'm David McMillian. We'll see you next time right here on Strategies for Living.